Hello and welcome. This is Duane, one of the elders here at Calvary Bristol, just with a few moments of encouragement and from the Bible and just some passages and some thoughts on coping with this craziness that's going on, this pandemic, this worry of what's happening and when is life going to get back to so-called normal. So I thought maybe I read a couple of Psalms and a poem that is kind of meaningful. Hopefully you get the same encouragement that I'm getting. It's many Psalms and many passages in the Bible are encouraging and lead us to Christ and lead us along our way of life so that we don't worry and fear as much as we are, and take courage in the fact that God is with us. He hasn't left us. He hasn't forsaken us. And the Bible lots of times talks about shepherds and sheep and how we're the lambs and we kind of wander and kind of get off track. The Lord is our good shepherd. We can even go as far as our great shepherd. You know, pastors and elders and teachers, they kind of shepherd us along the way, but they have their faults and, you know, down times, and sometimes you can't get a hold of them. But what is neat about God is He's always there. He's not doesn't put you on hold. You know, like you're trying to get a problem solved and you call up a company and you put on hold for a half hour. Then you get somebody comes online and you have the wrong department and they try and switch you to department and you get lost and you got to start all over again. But what's amazing about God is anytime you want to talk to Him, He's there. Anytime you want to bring something to Him, He's there. He's ready, waiting, and listening, and encouraging. Sends along people in our paths to help us along the way, especially in times of need and want and worry. That's when He's there the most. And He tells us not to fear. Sometimes we just don't understand how we can not fear. But He's with us. So I like to turn to Psalm 23 and read it without much comment. It's a common psalm, and you've probably heard it many times before. If you haven't, and you have a Bible, when we get done, you can look at it yourself, and tomorrow, and weeks ahead. And it talks about our good shepherd, and how He's taking care of us. We'll start. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. And here's a verse that, you know, is really prevalent to today what's going on. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Sometimes we stop it right there, but it continues. I will fear no evil, for Thou art with me. Thy rod and Thy staff, they comfort me. When the shepherds were leading the flock and taking them to green pastures and to other places to eat, to greener pastures where it's more nutritious, the rod and the staff were there to ward off the enemy, to ward off robbers that wanted to come in and steal and harm. Or if a sheep falls in a hole, the staff had a little hook on the end that would help get him out of the way. Or it's long so that, you know, put him back on the path as they kind of wander a little bit. So it's there to comfort and support and guide. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. The blessings that He bestowed upon us are sometimes so overwhelming, they're just overflowing. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It's encouraging words that our shepherd is there. In the olden times, you know, God uses examples of the lifestyle there, and shepherding was a big thing, watching the sheep. And David, the writer of this psalm, was a shepherd and kind of has an idea of how to lead sheep and what sheep need as they go along the path. And with Psalm 23, and if we can, encouraging from that, we can turn to another psalm, and we have joy that's just overflowing. Psalm 100, a psalm of praise, a psalm of letting the Lord know that we appreciate what he does and what he's doing. And in the toughest times, he's there to guide us. So Psalm 100 says, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture." There's that sheep reference again. "Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good, and his mercy is everlasting." It doesn't end. It just keeps on going and going. "And his truth endureth to all generations," from now until eternity and beyond. If that's, we just can't comprehend that sometimes. And just the way he loves us, and he appreciates when we come to him. People say, "Why do I pray?" God knows what's going on. But God wants to hear us. He wants us to talk to him. He's a personable God. He's not just somebody that sits off in a distance and sitting on a chair and, ruling over us with a heavy hand. No, he's personable. He wants us to get to know him. And he wants to walk alongside us. And he does walk alongside of us. There's a poem that probably most of you know, and maybe some of you don't. It's called "Footprints in the Sand." Sorry. And it goes like this. "One night I dreamed a dream. As I was walking along the beach with my Lord, across the dark sky flashed scenes from my life. For each scene, I noticed there was 2 sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to me and one belonging to my Lord. After the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed that many times along the path of my life, especially at the very lowest and saddest times, there was only one set of footprints. Kind of made me wonder. This really troubled me. So I asked the Lord about it. "Lord," I said, once I decided to follow you, you said you'd walk with me all the way. But I noticed that during the saddest and most troubling times of my life, there's only one set of footprints. I don't understand why. When I needed you the most, you would leave me." I can just picture it. The Lord kind of putting his arm around you, and big old smile, and he says, "My precious child." It's funny how you get kind of emotional at times. Like, "Hey, I love you. And I would never leave you. Never, ever. During your trials and testing, especially. When you saw only one set of footprints. My child, I carried you." He carries us through the troubling times, through those times when we feel alone. A common phrase now is "alone together." You may feel alone, but there's the computer, phone, there's friends, pastors, church people, just co-workers that you can reach out to and talk to. Someone that's, can't put his arm around you and hug you because of social distancing. But it's amazing what we can do when we need to. So just an encouraging word that the Lord is our shepherd. He's there to guide us. He's there to walk with us. He didn't cause the pandemic, but he allowed it to happen for some reason or other. We don't know, and we may not know until it's over and we look back of our life and find that, it wasn't really as bad as I thought it was. So don't let your heart be troubled. God's got you. So thanks for listening, and have a great day. See you later. Thanks.